First, Auggie Matteis from Weisbrod Matteis Copley.
Thank you, Mike. Good morning. I'm Auggie Matteis, Chairman of Weisbrod Matteis Copley, and my firm represents over 1,200 homeowners and business owners from New York and New Jersey who decided to reopen their flood insurance claims after Hurricane Sandy. And I've been asked a lot recently, what does this mean for Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma victims? What can they expect? When are they going to get paid on their flood insurance policies? And I tell people over and over, you need to look at Hurricane Sandy survivors for the answer to that. And here we are 5 years later, and out of our 1,200 clients in the review, 900 of them are still waiting for their checks. I haven't seen an example of one yet who wasn't underpaid the first time around by the YO insurance companies, not one. Because of widespread underpayments and FEMA admitting to fraud, FEMA agreed to allow people to reopen their claims in the Sandy claims review process. And they promised that within 90 days people would be made whole. This was in early 2015. Well, that didn't happen. In fact, it took over a year for FEMA to come up with lowball offers that every one of my 1,200 clients rejected because they were so low. And all 1,200 of them decided to take their claims to third-party neutral arbitrators to see if they could get a fair shake. And now, 2.5 years later, FEMA has conceded that it has underpaid Sandy homeowners by at least $275 million and counting every day. But they still are fighting tooth and nail in every one of these neutral arbitrations to try and deny the claims that still remain in the claims review process. Do you remember all the reports about fraudulent engineering? To this day, FEMA is denying claims based on those same fraudulent engineering reports. This week, FEMA is denying claims based on engineering reports signed by Matt Papalardo, who is a convicted felon from high-rise engineering. Hundreds of neutral arbitrators who are deciding in favor of Sandy homeowners are being reversed by FEMA. Now, why is FEMA doing all of this? One reason that I know that FEMA is doing this is they are paying hundreds of millions of dollars to companies like OST Inc., McKinsey Consulting, and other government contractors to administer the claims review process. 5 years after Hurricane Sandy, a process is set up to try and make homeowners whole who are the victims of fraud. Those homeowners may get a couple $100 million. FEMA admits that they underpaid that much. But FEMA will have paid government contractors multiples of that to figure it out. And this is the proverbial swamp of Washington that people talk about. And if people don't want the same exact thing to happen to victims of Hurricane Harvey in Texas, Hurricane Irma in Florida, then Congress needs to change the law when they reauthorize the NFIP. And most importantly, Congress needs to make a law, to pass a law that holds people accountable for these kind of shenanigans. Right now, under the current law, government contractors, YO insurance companies, engineering firms that commit fraud, none of them can be sued for fraud. In my view, let's start right there with immunity. Let's make it illegal for people to commit fraud. It seems pretty simple and like a no-brainer to me. Thank you.